the functions of the constitution. First and the foremost question, you can be directly asked a prelims question. A single statement will be given to provide a set of basic rules that allow for minimal coordination amongst member of a state. इतनी तो coordination होनी ही चाहिए. Okay, minimal coordination, to ensure minimal coordination between the members of the state, constitution is written. Okay, you have to note down these keywords: minimal. It might be given that maximum. In prelims, one statement will be given to you that to provide a set of basic rules that allow for maximum coordination among members of a state. But this is the line of an NCERT and you need to focus on these words. Indian polity is a game of words only. Somewhere you will given only, few, a few. Okay, so your vocabulary and English, basic English needs to be strong for this. Second function of the constitution is to define who has the power to make laws. Who has the power to make laws in India? The legislature. And enforce them. That is the organizational framework. That is what we had recently discussed, that three organs of the state, organizational framework. To define who has powers to make laws and enforce them. That is executive. Okay. And third function of the constitution is to set some limits on what the state can impose on its citizens. For example, there is Article 19 in Part 3, which talks about right to speech and expression. You can write these examples as well. Right to speech and expression. It means that under normal circumstances, state cannot restrict your right to speech and expression. State cannot say so that you cannot have the right to speech and expression. The constitution has given you the fundamental right to speech and expression and other fundamental rights also. So by giving these provisions and these articles, what the constitution does, constitution sets the limit on what the state can impose on its citizens. Except under exceptional circumstances, states cannot prohibit your right of speech and expression. And what are those exceptions? We will study when we will talk about fundamental rights chapter. Okay. Now, fourth function is it reflects the ideology and philosophy of a nation. How? These ideologies and philosophies of a nation is detailed in the preamble. For example, preamble talks about justice. Justice of three types: economic, social, political justice. Preamble talks about equality, fraternity. So these are the ideals we want to achieve by drafting and framing the Constitution of India. Okay, justice. Questions can also be asked that which all type of justice are mentioned in the preamble. So only three type of justice: economic, social, and political. Okay, you need to focus on these words, specifically in Indian polity. Then see, the importance and relevance of Constitution can be depicted from the statement of George Washington: "The Constitution is the guide which I will never abandon." The fifth function of Constitution is it provides for its own amendment provisions. Constitution of India is rigid as well as flexible. If we have to scale the Indian Constitution, this is the Constitution of Britain on the scale of rigidity. This is the Constitution of Britain. This is the Constitution of USA, very rigid. And this is the Constitution of India here. It provides for its own amendment provision, and the provision is enshrined in Article 368. You have to learn this article. Okay. Article 368. Article 368 defines the provisions how a Constitution of India can be amended. Three types of provisions are there. It can be amended by simple majority, special majority. We'll discuss when we'll talk about this particular article.